from the 1000 BC onwards, we have to try to see that is there any cultural link between the Southeast Asia and India? What are the material has been imported from Southeast Asia? Even navigational technology would have been imported import technology. That we have to take in care of that. That is, we looking forward of the Southeast Asian scholars. They can highlight these points that we are expecting.
Yeah, with regard to Professor's question about this connection and influence from Southeast Asia and India, there is a term called Bangam. Banka, actually, there is an island, and this Bangam in Tamil literature as well as in other texts, it refers to boat, a type of boat, and also it refers to tin. Interestingly, there is some connection, and this is an important term. And then the term of Karagam, which I mentioned, Karagam, actually they equate it with Kataha and Keda. This came to, product from this place came to Kavaripambatinam. There in other Tamil literary reference refers to Karagam as cloth. So there is a probability that cloth from Southeast Asia or textile came in a much earlier period. Then also we have Karpur Barus, that has this material and eagle word down. All these coming because Tamil literature really has a lot of references to things coming from Southeast Asia. So we do have a lot of references, especially in literary context. And I mentioned about archaeology. Archaeology has potential to understand people-to-people contact and material contact. See, text is actually selective. Text actually represents the view of a specific community or the person who produces the text. But archaeology sometimes can tell us, and there's so much of ceramics that are found in the excavated sites in India and also in Southeast Asia, they have not been compared. So when we look at these, we can definitely understand and the relationship. There are some Indian type ceramics occurring in Indonesia. They have been reported by scholars who are working in the Sumatra region. So that is also one area. With regard to Professor H.P. Ray's question of future prospects and connectivity, I think I mentioned about creating a kind of forum like ASEAN India forum, especially for linking these scholars from Southeast Asia and India. Conventionally archaeology was introduced due to the Western and colonial impact. I think we need to, as the professor pointed out, we need scholars from Southeast Asia working closely with scholars from India, and also students can visit some of this excavation and focusing on some kind of specific workshop. And then the area of cultural heritage, that is an important area. As mentioned, it can also help, as this co-speaker mentioned, about promoting cultural heritage through museum and exhibition. Some of these archaeological sites can be worked towards developing these ideas. So cultural heritage, tangible and intangible, this is an area I think we can develop and indirectly support tourism, not only tourism and also education. Educating youngsters and training these research scholars in research methodology and also scientific analysis. These are some areas, especially material, scientific analysis of material. Rather than these ideas came from there, and there we have several X-ray diffraction and other analysis, neutron activation analysis. They need to be employed to understand these interactions. These are some of my points.
To respond to Saray's question about the contemporary relevance of all of this that we've been discussing, I wish I'd had a little bit more time to situate IHC also as a community museum. And Singapore is a cosmopolitan society, and this is a government-led project. However, it is very much community-driven, and one definite sort of intent curatorially was to sort of instill some amount of pride amongst the community in their heritage, not just Indian heritage, but their heritage in the region. And that is definitely one sort of tool that we try to use in making the content contemporarily relevant. However, we also use the tool of technology to make it exciting, because sometimes, as historians, we might get carried away with our content, but how are we communicating this, and how are we making it appealing to audiences, not just audiences that are differentiated by age, but also in terms of audiences who might be specially abled. How are we actually bringing this content to them as something that we can call in Singapore across the museums? And these would sort of be my two responses to you. On another note, I mean, in terms of how Southeast Asian scholars in Singapore perceive this whole idea of Indian exchange, it is definitely a stress on two-way flow of information and ideas and exchange of ideas. And secondly, also that they steer away from the idea of an Indianization in terms of its expansionist qualities, but rather that Southeast Asia was a developed region that adapted and borrowed ideas that appealed to them and even reinterpreted and reinvented them. Thank you.
I would like to say our country has archaeological findings in Myanmar. A large number of Buddhist archaeological findings are discovered in Myanmar. They include stone inscriptions, Buddha images, Buddhist tablets, terracotta plates, potsherds, etc. They constitute solid document confirming the dates of the arrival of the Indian culture and religions at Lower Myanmar and Upper Myanmar. So we can say Theravada Buddhism had developed into a great extent in Myanmar.
I would like to kind of respond to what you asked from the floor. It's I think it's more about methodologies in order to understand the broader spectrums about the relation between Southeast Asia. For example, like there is not, I think the scholarship has been built up on the, calling on the many scholars from Southeast Asia coming and talk and have a dialogue. For example, taking examples of terminologies that you are using in Cambodian, in Khmer language, for example, Prat and Mis are from Malay word, like those are the loan words. And then they link Prat, gold, Prat is silver, Mis is the gold that is used in Cambodia, and then it is providing us to understand about the connection, the link between Southeast Asia and themselves. And I agree with Dr. Wang Sarva Kumara that mentioned about the, trying to create the dialogue between among the scholars, inviting Southeast Asian scholars in order to talk with Indian scholars. I think that is very much a laborious work, require tremendous scholarships. Like you have to master many languages so that you can understand the entire. But inviting scholars, from time to time, building up the scholarship. And I think in the future we might have not entirely, but better understanding the connection Southeast Asian context and Southeast Asian with South Asian as well. So this is the most important. I think the more dialogues is required for such a forum is very necessary. Thank you.
Thank you. On that note, we close this session and break for lunch. Dr. Dave might want to make an announcement. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much for running this interesting session. Beginning with the conference first session, last plenary. So thank you. Please have a round of applause for the speakers, the chairpersons. And we break for lunch, but one housekeeping announcement because we have to report to ASEAN Secretariat. The Secretariat is giving the money. So they want that please give your boarding card coming here, original boarding card to me, to my colleague Durai Raj, and our mission people who are here on the outside. We need the original boarding card, giving it back to the Secretariat. Thank you, and we will reassemble here dot 1:30. Thank you. Lunch is outside, please join.